Hey there, guys, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Bottom Line. I am Emil, and thank you guys so much for watching. We've seen the feedback on TikTok and on YouTube, and it gives us nice courage because now we can see we actually are reaching the youth. But today we have someone who is a young entrepreneur who has pretty much started a really great business and is actually an ex-founder now and sold it to a major company. And we're getting into reasons of why and how his ex-company kind of helped and benefit the youth of South Africa. So let me introduce Lynton. But how are you doing otherwise?
All good, man. Thanks, and thanks for calling me young. I don't really get that anymore.
You look very young, Jerry. You look very young. I don't know how old you are, but you look
awesome.
You look very young.
Cool, man. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Just been busy year so far. 2024 is a good year. Just been super busy and super packed.
Thanks for having me here, man.
Now let's get straight into the interview because I have a lot of questions. Mainly because I do know of your ex-company, OneCart. So I've always wanted to know, actually, I never got the chance to ask you until now, is what was the idea behind OneCart? Because, I mean, it's similar to, like, your Uber Eats now, Mr. Delivery and stuff, but what actually inspired you to create OneCart?
Yeah, sure. So, like, now, 2022 onwards, you see a lot of the, these on-demand delivery companies come through. But I actually had the idea for OneCart in 2015.
Someone told me that OneCart was around for a while before.
I think we pioneered on-demand delivery and e-commerce in South Africa, or we were one of the pioneers at least. But how the idea actually came about was more of a personal need. My background is actually that I've worked in corporate prior. I was there for about 10 years.
Oh. I would not have expected that.
So now I'm giving you my age, right? So before OneCart, I was in corporate for about 10 years.
Oh.
I worked in engineering.
You're also an engineer?
Yeah, I'm an engineer. And then I decided to leave engineering after about 4 years. And then I moved into consulting. I wanted to see the bigger picture of business. And then after about a year in consulting, I was like, you know what? I actually am getting bored. I want to go overseas. So at the age of about 26, I found myself in Singapore as an expat, and we lived there for about 4 or 5 years. And it was actually during this time that I had the idea for OneCart. We used to do grocery shopping every Saturday morning, and it was the bane of my existence, right? Because we'd do it in the morning after a Friday night out. And we'd go from one store to the other store, starting from 9 o'clock, and we'd end at about 12 o'clock, get groceries from one store, then get your wine from another, fruits from another. And one day I was just in the queue, sulking, and I just thought, I'm sure there could be a better way to do this. And that's essentially how the idea from OneCart came about. It was to say, can you get your groceries delivered from multiple stores and have someone do it for you quicker than you would actually do it yourself? And that's how the idea for OneCart was born. And that was more around 2015, on-demand grocery delivery from multiple stores. And it wasn't until I came back to South Africa in 2016 where the idea just stuck in my head. And then eventually it was like, if I don't do this, someone else would. And I decided to give it all my time, and we launched OneCart in 2018.
I still think OneCart is more impressive than what we have currently because I know with Uber Eats, Mr. D, you can order from one place, but the idea of OneCart ordering from multiple places, I feel like it's very convenient in a way. And now, when I was doing more research on you, I saw that when you became ex-founder, I could say that, right?
Yeah.
You sold it to Walmart I'm just confused about Walmart. Were they interested in it, or did you offer them, or what was the whole exchange?
Yeah, sure. So with Walmart, we sold to Walmart at the end of 2021. So we are about 4 or 5 years into the business, and we obviously grew the business quite significantly, and then. What actually happened was Walmart owns Massmart in South Africa, which is Macro, Builders, Game, etc. And so they were a majority shareholder then.
I didn't know about Walmart owning. Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, exactly. But we dealt with the Walmart guys directly when we were selling the business, well, mostly. But I think, selling the business was just a function of good timing, and all the elements being together, right? So for context, for your viewers, we'd just come out of COVID. We'd seen our business growing exponentially. So we were growing at over, I think it was like 4,000% because of what COVID had done to our business year on year. At that point, I had a tech team, marketing team, call centers, and we had about 1,000 shoppers and drivers. So in total, we had a team of about directly or indirectly about 1,200 employees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in the business, and we'd scaled up significantly. So given where we were and that it was COVID, a lot of the retailers were looking for someone that could give them on demand, and so I think that was good timing. But then the fact that at that point we were going out to raise capital at 9 figures. We were looking for 9 figures, and we had a solid team. We were delivering groceries on demand, thousands of orders a day, and we'd built up this solid logistics network, as well as having great tech behind it. And that sort of COVID sparked the interest, and then everything around what we had sort of made it possible.
I mean,
to do
COVID was bad for many reasons, but I guess it helped you guys in the long run, in the sense of helping it get its feet off the ground.
Yeah, 100%. We were one of the fortunate ones.
Now, the reason for you, creating OneCart and also investing in other different companies that are technology based, how has that actually fulfilled economic and social needs, and does it actually change the norm of today?
Yeah, look, I think that, so in anything that I do, given that I'm a South African, right? So we built here, we know that we have unique challenges and opportunities in this country, right? We know what unemployment sits at. So, I was fortunate to go and live overseas, and then, when I was coming back, I always thought, if I did something, it has to have not just an economic benefit, a social benefit. So when we were building OneCart, we had that in mind from day one. So, I mentioned we had, about 1,000 shoppers and drivers, and through that, how we contributed to the community or society was, one, we'd hire shoppers and drivers from the community in which we operated. So we had about 80 locations at that time all across South Africa. We'd make sure that we hired, from that community. So that creates, job employment within the community. And I think within our business, we hired mostly youth at that time.
Currently, do you guys still hire youth?
Yeah, we do, very much so. But I think, hiring people is one thing, but then giving them the opportunity to be able to progress is another thing. I mean, we had instances, we had our, someone coming in as a shopper, then, going through the ranks to being head of operations, then guys, we gave everyone the ability to, if they had the potential and they demonstrated it, because obviously we operated as a meritocracy, is to say that if you had this and you want to progress, we'll give you the opportunities. And I think, personally, having that kind of business where, you're able to hire, thousands of people and create that job opportunity, I think, that was great. And so when I look at businesses as well, that's what I look for, because I think that, if we do have the opportunity, or if we are fortunate enough, that we need to sort of pay it back.
So coming to my last question, which kind of ties into the question I asked you before this.
Yeah.
You were speaking about the youth, and what I want to know is, what do you have to say, or what inspiration do you have for the youth?
Yeah. Look, I think that we live in a country where there's just so much of opportunity, even with the challenges that we have. For the youth out there, guys that are still in school, just finishing, I'd say focus on education. Education is one of the most important things that you can do to better yourself. It literally is like a tool of liberating yourself, if I could say that. Focus on education. And I would say that, while you're young, never ever be stagnant and always be progressive. whatever that means to you. So always look to better yourself, and you never know where it could land you.
I mean, I tell a lot of things to a lot of like, I still keep in touch with some people from high school.
Yeah.
And I always sound like, they always ask me like, how did I get to here? I was like, I didn't go to varsity. I mean, I went to Europe, didn't really work out, but
Right.
I never stopped learning new things. Like now I'm a full-time video editor. I'm learning 3D rendering now.
100%.
So I agree with you. And granted, South Africa has as many issues like the rest of
Yeah.
the world. But I feel like as South Africans, we are resilient because, I mean, look at the Rugby World Cup. AFCON, for example. Bafana, everyone thought they weren't going to do great, but we made it to semi-final. So
definitely.
I guess on that note, I would say I'm always proud to be South African. I don't think I'll ever move because this place is just special.
Let me tell you, I've been to many places, and I actually traveled after I sold the business with the intent to think, could I settle down in another place? And I've lived in other countries as well.
Yeah.
And the outcome of doing that with my family was to say that, no, actually, like, just Africa is just, one of the best places to live.
I think it's one of those places where we know the issues, we know what it is, but we know, we have hope one day, everything will be fixed. But also I think it's the idea and the culture and just the vibe of South Africa in general.
100%. South Africans are special, man.
We are very special. And so are you guys listening and watching this. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching and, sharing the content with your friends and family and business, co-workers. I hope you guys do. And thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like the video, leave a like, subscribe, and turn on those bell notifications so you guys can keep in touch or know when we post another one. Lynton, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for having me.